Hey, everybody. It's about time. It's a special day. It's Electro Feedback Day. Who's first up in the chat? Who got here? Top of the chat, Acid Bat, what's up? Luminous Cloud, as always, here and ready to go. We're here, the Zoids are here, Luminous Cloud. We got TB303 from Pants Galaxy. Does that mean you're just not wearing nothing but your pants in the British sense? Asabat says he was at a house party and heard my record with DJ Hell. Yes, I know that guy. That was a fun record to make. Shout out to Science Cult for believing in us. Manuel Bloda's in the chat. Bass Kittens. The Bass Kittens from the Electro Litter Box. I love it. Funk Torsier. New Malik, new to the room, welcome. We got Jokey Wolf, Tom Relic, Eatsy, Live Society. Lots of regulars, lots of new names. Karsten Becker was back. Yes, nice crew to get us started today on this very special Electro Feedback Day. Let's bring it in. Welcome everybody. It's Selway's Electro Saturdays today. I'm here at 343 Labs Music Production School in New York City. And we also have our locations in Berlin. We have our locations online in cyberspace, right? Where else? And we do that thing where we teach people how to make music with computers and electronic instruments and other instruments. Actually, we've got everything going on here. There's a synthesis and sound design class going on in the other room. Kevin McHugh, none other than techno artist Ambivalent, is leading that one. We've got one of our instructors, Alden, I think he's doing a live performance class, if I remember the schedule correctly, or I could be wrong and it's like a music composition class, but something like that. We've got things for everybody. If you are interested in going deeper and learning more and upping your game as a musician, as a music producer, regardless of your genre, even though I'm like techno electro specialist here at 343 Labs, you should check out what we do. Of course, links below. Find out all about what we've got going on. And I've done my due diligence. You know that today is an electro feedback session. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks. We've got our special guest in today, Jean-Paul Bondy. He's going to help out, hang out. We're going to talk a little bit, listen to some of his music, shoot the breeze, and then get into listening to your submissions. We've got lots of submissions. The window is closed for submissions, right? So anybody who's just tuning in today and is curious about getting feedback, we announce it ahead of time. If you want to participate in feedback sessions in the future, we have our Discord server, and there's a link below there to join if you haven't already. And I have a Selway feedback channel, and that's where we're going to be accepting submissions for future sessions. But for today, we're going to go through, I don't know, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 submissions today. I think that's a good number. We can spend some time on each of you. So enough about that. We'll talk more about the feedback shortly. Let me get right into bringing in my guest. Please welcome everybody, none other than Jean-Paul Bondy. How's it going?
What up, fellow electro nerds? How's it going? It's a nice Saturday here.
Where are you
Los
again?
Angeles.
Los Angeles, right. Exactly.
Yeah, near if anybody knows this area very well, we're in northeast Los Angeles near Eagle Rock, close to Pasadena and the mountains. Yeah.
Nice. That's a beautiful area. That's really cool. And I think you have some friends in the chat, don't you? There's some names in here.
Probably, yeah. Bass Kittens, obviously, who's a label partner, music partner, just friend for a very long time, since the 90s. Justin Maxwell, who was my partner in Volsoc, still is partner in Volsoc, and also a partner in doing lots of other crazy things. I imagine Jeff Cross is going to probably pop in here some point, probably some old colleagues from Native Instruments and Isotope. But
that's
since I can't see the chat, then I don't really
you could,
know
if you want
to
pop it open on your phone or something, if you want to follow along, that's cool. But I'll also try to relay anything to you if I see somebody trying to say something. So anyway, nice. You gave me some, I want to do a little background on you. You've been around, you know things, you know people, you make good music. You've worked in the music technology sector, right? You just mentioned Isotope and Native Instruments. So you've been a part of this music world in a lot of different ways, and I thought it'd be cool for people to know a little bit about that, as well as having a little bit of musical background on you for those who aren't maybe as deeply steeped in the electro sort of historically over the past few decades. So you gave me some links. Let's listen to some music a little bit and talk about your Volsoc project, because that's where I'm first familiar with you. What should we start with if we're going to listen to something?
Probably Shout Out is probably, I think, our biggest release that we ever did.
Right. I have this here ready to go on YouTube. This was a release on what was it again? World Electric.
Which was Andreas Bowles of Bowles. That was his label. I'm not sure if it's still around or not, but yeah. Super cool guy. Love that guy. That was based out of Germany. And being so, a lot of people thought that we were from Germany, and we're quite surprised to hear that we were some California folks. This was a pretty big hit.
It's banging already. Everybody out there, let me know how the levels are. I'm kind of doing this on the fly a little bit. So let us know if you can hear us speaking over the music, or if the music is loud enough or not too loud. Got Got my mixer open here. Nice. Luminous Cloud Vocoder Talk. Want to know about vocoder on shoutouts?
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about this, weren't we?
We were. So it is not a vocoder. I don't think that Volsoc has ever used a vocoder.
Is there a reason for that? Are you like adverse?
Yeah, we found it was too identifiable, and we wanted our stuff to sound a bit more like, where is this coming from? I don't understand how they did this. And the way we did this specifically, I believe, was with Macintosh, which existed back in the 90s, which was Macintosh's speech synthesizer. And so we used to just feed it and keep affecting it and feed it more and more and line up all the lyrics.
How did you get the timing?
We had to cut up the audio a lot.
Right. That's what I remember doing. I did a lot of stuff.
Spit it out.
I did a lot of stuff with text-to-speech in the 90s and early 2000s, and that's exactly what you had to do. You had to it spit it out however it spit it out, and then you'd have to time align it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And if we wanted some words to be more than one syllable, we would extend the letters and the vowels in them so that they would stretch out longer.
We'd repeat them literally.
And you would have to misspell things so that the phonetics made sense. So it was a really convoluted and process of getting that done in the way that you wanted to.
It would probably be easier now. But would it sound as good?
A little bit.
Or it would sound different?
It sounds different, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But this was a labor of love, I guess you would say. But it took us many, many, many tries to get to that point. And like Luminous Cloud says, how did they do that? And that was our point, was to be like, how did they do that?
Rather than just another vocoder electro track.
Right.
What else is going on? There's an audio effect on that vocal. It's wide stereo, and there's some other overtones.
And there's panning going on that it was attached to an LFO that gets faster in some points and slower.
Amplitude modulation.
Yes, correct.
Is it ring mod? Sounds like ring mod.
I think there's a lot of phaser. I think we might have doubled it to get different tones.
Sure.
And then split those into left and right.
Nice.
This song was, I think this was all Reason 1.0.
Amazing. It sounds great. It's 22 years old, Jean Paul.
Yeah. That's
we old.
When we released it, it's older than that.
No shit.
25, I think it's 25 years old.
Amazing. I love it. Like end of the 90s almost, or basically.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's when we were playing this out before we got a record deal or anything like that. And we were playing this at raves. And also I had cut it to dub plate, and I was a DJ at raves back then, and so I used to play our tracks out at raves.
Off of dub plates.
Yep. I still have them too. Yeah.
I made a couple of dub plates back then. I don't even think they probably don't work anymore. They do wear out.
You don't get many plays. Yeah. I think on that one, I think we had the remixes were, I think Jeff Cross did a remix, Carl Finlow did a remix for us, and I think
of this track.
Chakra? No, Single Soul Orchestra as well.
Oh, right.
I think. Yeah, off of that track.
Jonah Sharp?
Because we did we mentioned Jonah Sharp in this. No, that's Miguel.
Okay. I'm getting my California people mixed up. No,
that rap, if you listen to it, it's a shout out to all the producers in San Francisco at that moment in time.
I was listening to the sound design qualities, but not the words.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, I know I heard this back then. I just don't remember. But yeah, I see. Yeah, John Tejada's on the label there. That's cool.
Yeah, he did a remix for us as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's listen to something else real quick. I don't want to take up too much more time chatting with you, but I thought it would be really nice to get a little background and a little, kind of vibe with you before we dive into the submissions. And let's pick one more to listen to. Should we go for your solo track here?
Which one? Dry Humper?
Yeah. You sent it to me. Why not?
Yes. I think this one I wrote with Jeff Cross, actually.
Okay. Spacey.
Who is Yeah. So this was something we worked on together remotely and then like over a weekend, probably year 2000 or something like that. And this was released on my album for Compost Records.
Right, I thought that was interesting. I know of Compost mainly as like jazzy, housey, trip-hoppy, like soul kind of material, but yet you did this very electro, new wave album for Compost in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, a little strange because it's
but
like,
cool.
you know, me and Kruder and Dorfmeister on the same label didn't really make sense to me, but
that's great.
They wanted it.
This is really nice. I like bleeps. And I've noticed this about a lot of music that you've worked on. There's little intricate things happening all the time. Lots of modulation. I have lost your audio, or either that or it's really, really delayed. But keep going.
Yeah, I think sometimes I get in my own way with the amount of intricacies and little details and things that only happen once. But it tends projects to get really massive in Logic, and it's like, oh, there's 120 tracks in this one. How do I mix this now?
Some people in the chat like this one. Luminous Cloud effing loves bleeps. Luminous Cloud's asking you about a track called Planet Smashers.
Yeah, that's a remix I did for Code Rising.
Okay. Something. Well, we don't have it. I don't have that queued up here. We could look for it, but maybe we can talk about that another time. He was curious about the wobbly bass in that track. Maybe it was from the original, or you know what he's talking about.
No, yeah, it's from the Virus.
Aha. You mentioned also when we were chatting this week that you used the Virus a lot.
Yeah, almost everything is Virus.
We should have you back to do more of a production-oriented stream, because there's a lot of stuff, like you work with different instruments and different software than I do, and I always find that refreshing to
cool.
See how other people do things. So maybe we should have you back and we can get more deep into these sound design and synthesis and production conversations. But for now, I feel like we should move forward with the feedback session, because that's ultimately why we're here. I thought maybe we'd talk a little bit about your kind of music tech experience as well, but that's another thing we could save, because the stars of the show today are guests that have submitted tracks for us to review. So let's get going with that. The first one that I have queued up here is from a regular, Acid Bat. He's here. We're ready to go. This is a track he has up on his Bandcamp, and it is called Abyssinian. I'm gonna zoom in on a little. Nice intro. I think I recognize a sample in there. You know what? We didn't talk about this while we're listening to the chill beginning of this track. I like to start with what we like butter everybody up, and then get into the criticism, right? So positive first, and then not negative, but constructive, critical. That's a good format to think about. And all of you should do that. It's nice that way.
Yes. Love the chill nature of this. I think the stereo separation and just the sonic field is really lovely and wide, and everything has its own place in the mix. It's really important.
Oh yeah. No, it's very spacious, and not just in like a reverb sense, but the image of it is wide, and it's got the right balance of stuff in the middle versus stuff on the sides. So, nice mix.
Excellent bass line. Little
Sounds like
hints of Claro Intellecto.
Sure, yeah, it does remind me a little bit of that. That's a 303 kind of a bass line, isn't it? Got that little rubber bandy kind of bounce to it. I like that there's a lot of variation in the drum programming, even though, I mean, it's just pretty straight up 808. Good hi-hat variation. Nice chill start. We're definitely starting easy.
Chords. Yeah. Well, it's good for Saturday morning at 10:20 a.m. in Los Angeles. This is perfect. I think those bendy chords are really doing it for me. Like, quite nice. Got a little uneasiness to it. A little Detroit element in there.
Sure.
Maybe it's...
I may have just let this whole track play. We're already 2/3 of the way through it. Let me just ask you, while we're on the subject of time, how long can you go today? Like, I usually go up to 2 hours for a feedback session because we have to get through everybody. So I just want to make sure that we don't have to cut it off at a certain time before we go too deep in and listen to everybody's tracks in full and then run out of time.
All good.
Oh, all good. All right.
I cleared my schedule.
Wow.
Which is
we rate
really
high.
Yeah, I know. I had a lot going on. No.
Oh, Luminous Cloud is talking. He's got this grown folk electro concept he keeps talking about. This is definitely grown folk electro. It's like, it's not too like aggressive in your face, ravey, stimulating. It's like, yeah, futuristic, chill, spacey. I could listen to this in the morning.
I will say one thing, I think, and this is just to nitpick, but
that's what we're here for.
There's a couple of these high frequency noises like that one right there that seem a little bit too forward in the mix and kind of overpowering, a little disruptive and
it is
resonant.
It's important. Like high frequency sounds, you know, these are like so pure, they're just almost basically sine waves, right? Like they're really sharp and clear. They might need to pull back in the mix a little bit. Like I feel like that's something that a mastering engineer might even DS a little bit, right? So like better to do it in the mix first. And there was a comment in the chat that like it kind of gets more and more sort of weird and trippy as it goes. And so it's part of that is these high frequencies bending around all over the place. So that's something you might want to watch. But it's a relatively short track for like a hypnotic deep track. It's 4 minutes. And I get that it's, as much as I love it, I get that it's like a vibe, like it's just kind of chill vibe that's flowing, and a little more structure in the arrangement could be interesting though. Like if there had been some more contrast. That's probably aside from how the blippy thing's getting a little loud towards the end there, and you could smooth that out with EQ or compression or whatever it is.
Sure.
Or just bring the levels down a little bit.
Drop the drums. Yeah, drop the drums out for a while. Yeah, there's a couple of small tweaks.
That's all I would do. Now this is released. It's on Bandcamp. It's public. You can buy it. So it's done. and that's like the artist's prerogative. But if you were still working on this, and then going forward on other tracks where you're doing a similar style, you can, it doesn't have to be like a full-on breakdown. It's not that kind of a track. But I feel like a little more contrast in the arrangement, a little more sectional change could be beneficial. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I would play this in my car all the time. It's not.
Yeah,
and those are just little nits to pick at.
We are nitpicking. We're picking at the nits.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, really nice Acid Bat. Great submission from you. Thanks very much.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next one. We've got Machine Funk, Into the Asteroid Field. I see There's a big hint at what's this going to sound like right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe a little bit of a Detroit influence here, I wonder. I already like it. I mean, we all already like this, right? Is that loud enough? I've got the volume all the way up
on my end a bit.
All right. It's actually a lot of bass. There's a lot of sub coming through.
Yeah, I think it's a little distorting in the lows right now.
Well, let's listen to what we like. But it's underground. It's dark. It's got that roll. I tend to really like, for dance floor electro, I like faster tempos lately. But I think I've been influenced. Yeah. There's so much faster stuff coming out in techno and electro now. And drum and bass is back again, and like everybody's just ravier faster. Definitely getting techno bass, aux 88 feel from this track, right?
I think like on big systems, tracks that are stripped down like this work so well for the dance floor.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm gonna jump in a little bit.
Ooh, nice. That could even be louder, the new little arpeggiated squirrely sounds. Ooh. Yeah. That's hot.
You got it. It's hot from Jean-Paul. Up. Let's let that come in.
Whoa.
Got some musical development here. Going through another little break here. I was expecting that to continue.
Yep.
It's like a little surprise.
It's gonna come back right here though, right?
Yeah.
Little Detroit meets Germany.
I think like structurally, like the different parts are working. The groove is good. Where I feel like work needs to be done is the mix.
The mix.
Yeah.
Definitely. But the arrangement is solid. I think the sound design is really spot on. The mix is where, and then a nice master. And I think this could like rock the sound
definitely.
system.
Now, I know sometimes people go for a deliberately darker lo-fi sound, but you still want some high frequency detail in there. Like, and some EQing, some like careful EQing. I imagine that that 808 kick might really sound woofy and overtake the mix on a big loud system relative to the other sounds. I mean, a good mastering engineer can help you with that. Nail. It is. It's like trial and error. And you want to do some reference and listen to some other tracks that have a similar style to hear how they're balanced. I mean, shoot, listen to some aux 88 records and, you know, just copy their overall levels and you're most of the way there. But,
yeah, there's a Dave Knoller from Dynamics 2 taught me an interesting trick is with an 808 is to separate the sub frequencies and then put like a Kraftwerk zap over top of it, and so there's a punch every time it hits, and it's such a really cool trick that like it works.
So I'm getting a comment here. As you were says the compression affects the highs. Do you mean like the SoundCloud compression? And that's another thing to take into account here. Is we're hearing this music streaming over the internet. So it's probably slightly less crispy than it would be if we had the AIF or WAV file here. But I can still tell that the mix would translate better on different systems if it was a little more carefully EQ'd, a little careful compression on some of the elements that need it, a little brighter overall. It's just the idea is gonna come through, the energy is gonna come through. Right now it sounds like it's got kind of a veil over it. You know what I mean? Like it's just
right. Yeah.
It's like when there's you block the sun a little bit with a translucent curtain, and it's like less bright than it could be. So anyway, I like it. So excuse me, my goodness, might be some allergies going around here. It is that time of the year. This is a really cool track. Thanks, Machine Funk. I like it. Keep going. Keep doing
Another nice one.
Another nice one. I think a lot of these tracks are actually really good. I did just quickly went through them. I didn't even really listen to the whole tracks. I just was like, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. Right. So everybody's doing good work out there. Let's see. Oxist by Plexin. This guy was he actually submitted his track before I announced the date. He was ready. And we heard this one a little bit earlier.
Clairvoyant.
That's right. Check it out. Oh, I think I missed the very beginning. Come on. Darn SoundCloud interface. I like the kick a lot. It's like energetic, but not too sharp either.
Yep. I like how things are pumping. Like the compression is like giving it a little breathing.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like more of a mastered, finished mix down. So it's got that chunky. It's got that chunky. Why didn't I finish my sentence?
The chunky.
Right, definitely picking up the energy. Nice sounds in that break. It sounds sort of like spectral, metallic, I don't know, resonant stuff. Cool sounds.
Yeah, speaking of Code Rising, this has got some really good Miami vibes to it, of like angry robot electro.
Angry robot. So much electro sounds like angry robots. That's a trope. And I think we're all in for it.
Yeah, this is Jekyll and Hyde Dynamics 2.
Oh right. Like, get down with my technique. That kind of stuff.
Yep.
I haven't heard that track in a long time. The one I was just thinking of.
It's definitely got a lot of 90s electro influence in it, which is, a big part of my heart lives there.
I think. Right? I have to say, sometimes when I make music, I try to avoid changing up the groove suddenly too much. This one just did it, not just, it was different, but still in the pocket, It was a nice surprise. A little busy.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, a track like this has got that energy. It's got that kind of borderline ravey energy to it. It's euphoric. I wouldn't want to hear like 10 tracks like this in a row. This would have to be like a peak that I build up to, and then I play something different after it. Not necessarily lower energy, but contrasting. Because it is a lot.
Yes. It is.
It makes me want to drive faster, that's for sure.
The bass line sounds to me like a Jupiter 8.
What makes it sound Jupiter 8-ish?
It's just got that 80s digital sound with the very wide stereo spectrum going on.
As you were saying, I like the unsnared snare sound. Like it's not really exactly a snare. It's more like a clap, right?
Yeah, I hear it.
It's got
Sounds like it's doubled.
a little bit of like bandpass phasiness going on in there. Wow, we almost made it through this whole track. Nice ending with the spacey resonant sounds in the background. That was great.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a couple moments where it's really hyper, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I feel like if you wanted to make some improvements, you could break it down a little more. Again, contrast. It's funny, I said the same thing about the first track that was way more chill and way less busy. But I always want that. I always want like something dynamic. And it's there every time there's a break where the drums drop out. Dude, the building's fire alarm just went off.
Uh-oh.
I know. Let's wait and see though. I don't think I'm gonna have to stop the stream because it's generally 9 out of 10 times, at least 9.9 out of 10 times false alarm. But
sure.
I'm gonna I love having a reason to put the Be Right Back screen on. I am going to put the Be Right Back screen on and find out if this is a real fire alarm or not, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry to keep you guys waiting. Alrighty. I'll try to get back on as soon as I can. All right, guys, exciting day today. We only got through 3 tracks. The fire department is rolling up to the building, so we have to exit. Hopefully, I'll be able to come back on shortly. I'm thinking of maybe just leaving the stream going for now before I stop it, so we don't have to like start over again at a new link. So I'm going to leave this on the hold screen. No, I'll figure it out. I don't want you to have listening to the Galaga music for too long, but I'll try to come back on as soon as I can, or I'll stop it if we're not going to be able to go on today. Thanks everybody, and I'll keep you posted.
Millennium sound. It takes you to the zone. In the zone you're free to move through the stars. In the zone you see the Zoid never dies.